प्राइसिंग कैसे फिगर आउट किया? BFSI में थोड़ा सा ट्रिकी हो जाता है. Sometimes it's trust, sometimes it's cost, sometimes there is different politics going on. So how did you manage the pricing part?
So our first pricing was that we tried to compare ourselves to other similar tools available in the market.
Okay.
Which was Zoom for that matter, or a Slack, which were video calling platforms. Teams was not that popular back then. So we said, okay, whatever a Zoom is charging, we are going to charge $1 more or $2 more, because Zoom is open source and we are secure, we are enterprise grade, so we can command that price. And in FSI, it's never about what you are charging. It's always about how are you justifying what you're charging. Because new technologies, nobody knows how to price them. So our funda was simple. I said, if Zoom is charging $14, for an open source, video calling platform for a paid user, we are charging $16 because we have so many other enterprise features. And that worked. Everybody just needs a reason or a logic why something is priced in certain way. But what we did after that is that once we had a few customers on this, we worked with our customers to understand what else do we need to build to price this. And that's where I say that is an art and not a science. And so we have customers who are paying us more than our initial price. We have customers who are paying us less also. Because there were two strategies that we applied. We said, one, we will never lose a customer on pricing.
Okay, that's very bold.
Because eventually getting into a large enterprise and being stable for 12 months ensures that they are not going to throw you out for pricing.
Correct.
Onboarding a startup, onboarding a platform is extremely tough for these large enterprises. So once you're in, next year onwards, you can command, better pricing, or you can, improvise on that. So we said we'll never lose.
But they do large contracts, right? I mean, long contracts, 5 years, 3-year contract. How do you?
Yeah. So that's where the art is. That if you get your price on day one, you should be okay signing a 3-year platform, contract. If you're not getting your price on day one, that's where the negotiation, starts, which is like, okay, this year you don't have budget, you don't know the worth of my platform, you don't have that much of money. Okay, I'll sign this up for the first year, but next year onwards, let's keep it open. And as ruthless as large enterprises are, or procurement teams are when it comes to pricing, I think they understand that, for a startup to give that value to us, they need to be paid. And if I'm not going to pay them, then the product itself will, become an issue for me next year, which means I have to go through this whole cycle again.
Yeah, true.
So I think not losing a customer, okay to be low on pricing for the first year, but having the leverage in the contract for a negotiation after 1 year, that is something that we followed where we were not getting the price that we asked for.